Hey, what's up everyone, my dear drone warfare enjoyers. I just came back from London and I'm here back in Ukraine, and really a lot of curious thoughts to share with you all today. It's your host Liber with the Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces, and on this channel I usually share all of the technological and military developments in Ukraine's theater of war. So I got invited to this conference in London by RUSI, Royal United Services Institute. That's a big British think tank founded by the Duke of Wellington. And that's a gathering of top European NATO armies, generals, higher up officials, academics, and drone warfare analysts.
It will generally be the land forces that remain in abundance to guard what was won. And in many senses, when all the others go home, it's the land forces that remain. And in many, many cases in our history, it becomes our new home.
It was a very distinguished audience, to be quite frank. And also that was me, myself, speaking out there to all of the European generals. To be quite frank, the topic was of getting the new capabilities for this new theater of war and new realities of the warfare that we are facing here in Ukraine. And actually I was very nervous doing this. I never really spoke in before such a distinguished audience. But now all of the emotions are settled and able to speak about that freely.
Now I'm in the lessons learned section where I am figuring out and analyzing all of the combat operations that we have to find out the better way of fighting today and tomorrow, so we could lose less people and inflict more and more damage.
Basically, I was telling them the story, the history of the battlefield, how Ukraine transformed from this really World War II type of fighting with the tanks and stuff towards something that, well, we now score about 96% of all of the kills at the battlefield through drones specifically. And Ukraine has achieved that both through the organic units in the mechanized formations such as linear brigades, mechanized brigades, corps, etc. But also through the drone warfare experts units such as the Unmanned Systems Forces, basically all drone units with no infantry involved whatsoever. Also, I really touched on all of the surrounding infrastructure that you need to have to achieve that kind of orbit and tempo of operations, such as the drone repair workshops, such as the R&D labs to go on and repair the drones that you have, and IAD labs, so you could craft your own explosives for the specific task and purpose. But also it's, I think, one of the key aspects is the C2, command and control. And the stuff that we have here in Ukraine is Delta. It's an ecosystem of situational awareness tools. They are digital, and it helps us manage the battlefield. It helps us manage the maps, the targets, everything that is going on the battlefield, and also the live streams, such as the ones that I did when I was flying the drones myself. All of that was streamed, and each and every interested person in the area fighting was able to go and see what's happening at the battlefield through that live stream. So C2 is extremely important, and also the analysts, the officers commanding the battlefield are extremely important because the tempo of the operations have shifted so much. So there is a big need for that, for speed of the decisions. And the key message that I basically got to the conference with, that I wanted to promote, to share that as a narrative, is that you have to go and learn from Ukraine as soon as you can as a military. Because if you don't, your adversaries, Russia, China, Iran, they'll be able to learn so much quicker. They are much more decisive in that, actually. And I think that the fact that I'm speaking at our conference almost 5 years into the full-scale invasion with tons of the drones, I think it's a part of the strategic failure. Don't mind the sun behind me. And the best thing that I suggest is that armies are usually learning stuff and changing through good beating, meaning that Let's say in Ukraine we were forced to change, to adapt, just because we paid for that with our blood, and we figured out it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to be losing that many people to the normal conventional warfare that was established since the World War II. So we started to create and innovate and move stuff around, and something like that is happening already in the joint exercises between Ukraine and our European allies, but I think not on a scale that is enough. A good example is the Operation Hedgehog in Estonia 2025-2026, where basically 11 or 12 Ukrainian guys, soldiers, beat up 2 battalions of joint NATO forces in that kind of exercises. So Ukraine played Team Red, which I think is quite representative, because NATO as alliance was created to defend against Russia, and I think right now Ukraine and Russia are more or less on par regarding the warfighting tactics. I also had a lot of great meetings in London, and also met a lot of my friends who study at King's for the war studies, which I hope one day maybe I'll be able to do my PhD in there. So all in all, it was a great trip. Obviously, each and every Brit that I met, I gave them enormous gratitude and thank yous, just because they are one of the key allies that Ukraine has, and that is highly appreciated by the soldiers at the battlefield like myself. So I'll be enjoying this great day off and recover, and then I'll be sharing much more of the stuff with you regarding the drone warfare. I hope that it's useful to you, and hope that soon European allies will be at least as strong as Ukraine is. Stay frosty, and talk to you later.